Hello you guys, and welcome back to another video on my channel, The Science King, and today we will be talking about natural selection and evidence for evolution. So first of all, what is evolution? Evolution is the slow and continuous change of organisms from one generation to the next. The basic idea behind the theory of evolution is that different species have developed over time from other life forms. The Earth is about 4.5 billion years old, and there is scientific evidence that life on Earth began more than 3 billion years ago. Survival of the fittest from Charles Darwin. Individuals in a population show genetic variation because of differences in alleles. New alleles arise through mutations. Things like predation, competition for resources, and disease act as selection pressures. This means they affect an organism's chance of surviving and reproducing. Those individuals with characteristics that make them better adapted to the selection pressures in their environment have a better chance of survival, and so are most likely to breed successfully and pass on their dominant genes to their offspring. Those individuals that are less adapted to the selection pressures in their environment may be less able to compete and less likely to survive and reproduce. Bacteria provide evidence for evolution. Like all organisms, bacteria sometimes develop random mutations in their DNA. These can create new alleles, which can change the bacteria's characteristics. For example, a bacterium could become less affected by a particular antibiotic. For the bacterium, the ability to resist this antibiotic is a big advantage. This leads to the alleles for antibiotic resistance being passed on onto lots of offspring. This is just natural selection. Antibiotic resistance provides evidence for evolution because it makes the bacteria better adapted to an environment in which antibiotics are present. And as a result, antibiotic resistance becomes more common in the population over time. MRSA is a bacteria resistant to antibiotics. It is very dangerous because of its resistance to the antibiotics. To slow down or stop the development of other strains of resistant bacteria, we should avoid the unnecessary use of antibiotics and always complete the full course. Fossils provide more evidence for evolution. A fossil is any trace of animal or plant that lived a long time ago. Generally, the deeper the rock, the older the fossil. By arranging fossils in chronological order, gradual changes in organisms can be observed and judged that how a species have changed and developed over billions of years. For example, Ardi is a fossil humanoid 4.4 million years old. It had the features which are a mixture of humans and apes. Her feet suggested that she had an ape-like big toe and long arms. Her brain size was about the same as a chimpanzee's. B. Lucy is a fossil humanoid 3.2 million years old. She was found in Ethiopia and has a mixture of human and ape features. Her brain was slightly larger than Ardi's, but still similar to the size of a chimp's brain. The structure of Lucy's leg bones and feet suggested she walked upright but more efficiently than Ardi's. C. Leakey and his team found fossil humanoid 1.6 million years old. He found Takanaboi in 1984. It was a fossil skeleton of those species Homo erectus. He has a mixture of human and ape-like features, but is more human-like than Lucy. He had short arms and long legs. Darwin and Wallace. In the 19th century, Charles Darwin and Alfred Russel Wallace supported the theory of evolution from natural selection, and Darwin published their papers on evolution together and acknowledged each other's work, although they didn't always agree on the mechanisms involved in natural selection. Wallace's observations provided lots of evidence to help support the theory of evolution by natural selection. For example, he realized that warning colors are used by some species like butterflies to deter predators from eating them, an example of a beneficial characteristic that had evolved in natural selection. But in Darwin's famous book On the Origin of Species, published in 1859, that made other scientists pay attention to the theory. In this book, Darwin gave loads of evidence to support the theory and expanded on it. Effects of ideas about evolution on modern biology. The theory of evolution by natural selection is still relevant today, and it helps us to understand many ideas of biology. We now understand that life changes through the processes of evolution, and that evidence suggests we all have descended from a common ancestor. It has affected lots of different areas of biology, including classification, antibiotic resistance, and finally, conservation. That is it for today's video. Hopefully everyone enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe, like, and comment, and I'll see you guys in the